What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to my crypto journey. My name is Fudney, and I'm going to be giving my reaction to the AMA that Saitama Guru had on the Sandstorm and Crypto Realist YouTube channel. The COO of Saitama went into a neutral area, and I think that this AMA was good for everyone involved because he was interviewed in a neutral area. You could really tell that the Sandstorm and Crypto Realist did their homework, right? They had some hard-hitting, tough questions, and they did a good job. I think they could have done a little better about ringing Russ in a little bit because he likes to go on tangents sometimes, but they did a decent job at like stopping him, correcting the situation, or re-asking the question and bringing him back in. And I feel like when Saitama Guru goes on other people's channel, like Scott Herman or another YouTuber, right? I think that maybe their intentions could be good, but they end up sounding like fanboys because they're starstruck or whatever, right? They end up sitting there like joking with them and ha ha ha, happy fun time. And no, that's not what happened here. He was asked tough questions and he gave tough answers, and that's what we want to see. Holy crap. Okay, so did I gain any crazy knowledge from this situation? Not really. I kind of figured that some of the things he said would be said, but I did get a lot of insight into the Lily Finance Brad Beatty situation, which is very interesting to me. But I do have some talking points, and we'll start off with app development. Now, Russ said that he did not outsource anything for saitama, but he also said that, Max has had a software company for a while, and that people that work with Max would be helping out with some stuff. So not really outsourced, but people that maybe are not on the Saitama website, right? That are not, we don't know their faces, are helping with this app, but we don't know who they are, right? So that was pretty interesting to me. So it'd be nice to know who these guys are, how competent they are, but apparently, Max knows them, he trusts them, and those sorts of things. So whatever they're working on and those sorts of things, okay, whatever. Now, Russ said that yes, the app was ready to go before the saitama event, November 13th, but obviously you can't use a swap feature unless there's liquidity in the project, right? So there was no straight answer for this whole question, but apparently the app just wasn't done before the saitama event, and maybe that was a gray lie, a white lie, not really a lie, but it wasn't really done. So kudos to him for answering that. We kind of got some clarification on that, and apparently they submitted the CertiK audit on October 2nd, even though CertiK audit is saying they, technically got it the day after the saitama event. So that clears up some things. Maybe they submitted the app for the CertiK audit a month before, thinking it would be done quick, and CertiK said, hold my beer, you can have it on Christmas Day, right? Because that's when it came out, Christmas Day. And obviously they're still handling some things with the app because we still don't have the app just yet. Now, the Lily Finance situation was really interesting to me because Saitama Guru said he didn't really know Brad at all until, before the saitama event. Months before the saitama event, Brad was a investor in Saitama and told him about some of the things going on with Lily Finance. And he also says that Brad is the only reason why he ever mentioned Big Pharma and anything with medical blockchain technology, right? Because here's the thing, Saitama had a huge price pump when Russ said, oh, we're going to do big pharma partnerships and those sorts of things. And the only evidence he had for that was Brad saying, yeah, hey, Russ, big pharma. So he believed what Brad said. He ran with it, put a Twitter post. Everyone got fired up about it. So that's not good judgment right there, in my opinion. Now, Brad, when the first LLC was made, Brad went out of his way to, this is according to Saitama Guru, he put Saitama Guru on the LLC without Saitama Guru's knowledge. And when he found out, that was dissolved. But there was another LLC made on December 19th, and that still hasn't been dissolved. But then Saitama Guru said, well, if you're going into business with someone, especially since they're going to be a saitama exclusive, well, then you want to have a joint LLC. Doesn't mean they're, the same entity. But to me, it's like, you don't need a joint LLC with Lily Finance at all. You don't need that connection. Why do you need that connection? To me, so that question wasn't really answered clearly enough. Crypto Realist was really getting at it, and man, Crypto Realist did such a phenomenal job at really holding Russ accountable. And sometimes you have to come off as combative in order to get to the truth sometime, because Russ likes to talk in circles. You have to no, go back. I thought you said this, right? You have to correct him, and a lot of people didn't like that, but I think that's very good for Russ because I didn't think he did a bad job answering this question. I didn't think a lot of it made sense, right? But I think that the way he held himself was pretty good when a lot of people probably would have got mad or just left. And those sorts of things. So that was pretty interesting. He said that he also knew about the, civil suit against Brad Beatty, right? The civil RICO case that I think was just upgraded, but he didn't really think much of it because he says in business, people sue you all the time for, whatever reasons. But the thing is with that civil suit, if you read about it, it's not some disgruntled customer. It's not some guy and was mad. No, they are accused of defrauding the government out of millions of dollars, saying that they need an N95 mask, right? For the COVID, right? COVID-19, right? And they didn't use the money for that. That's the accusations. And if you read those court documents, it seems a little fishy. So if I'm Russ, I do a little more due diligence when it comes to vetting people, right? And putting them and being so quick to make a joint LLC with Brad, because you know how this turned out, right? You know, Lily Finance said, F you, Saitama, we're going to launch on our own. So it's like, well, are we going to make business partners like that we just met, like some random guy who's an investor who betrays you a couple months later? Are we going to do that? But you know, I can't really get mad at Lily Finance because they waited for a long time and they wanted to do their own thing. So, I mean, what do you want to say? You know, they did their own thing. I mean, it seems to be going okay since that big pump and dump. We'll have to see, right? Now they're competing tokens, and I think it's very interesting. Now, Lily token is down since that pump we had a couple days ago, but we'll have to see what comes of it. Now, the exchanges were an interesting conversation. So pretty much, I knew this, but a lot of people didn't. We're waiting on the exchanges. We've submitted all the applications, right? We are just waiting for them to say a go or no go. Russ said these exchanges would be dumb not to have us on their platform. But the exchanges don't need Saitama. Saitama needs the exchanges. But I think they're waiting, right? They're waiting for Saitama to have a working product. That's what they want to see first, in my opinion, right? A working product, maybe less controversy and those sorts of things. They don't want to be associated with any rug pulls. They rather put some, Granny Smith Apple freaking boring token that doesn't have a lot of volume on their platform before Saitama, because there's less risk in putting that boring company, because maybe that company is doing something or has been doing something, but they're not new and they have a working product out already. The pumpy behavior, right? Russ kind of saying things that are misleading. Now, Crypto Realist asked a very good question. He's like, are you gonna have a PR team that's gonna like stop you from saying these crazy things? And, like the NASDAQ interview, like being on Binance Live. Russ said we're going to be, doing a NASDAQ interview, which turns out that it's not the NASDAQ at all, right? Or we're going to be on the Binance Live doing an interview. A lot of people thought that was a Binance listing. You got Henoch over here mouth breathing. Sorry, Henoch, but you are telling everybody, all 30,000 of his followers on Twitter and however many YouTube subscribers he had, telling people that we're getting listed on Binance. He said he put 68K in it, and people following him are aping into that as well. So if Saitama Guru can make things a little more clear, and then he started talking about how, well, you don't know marketing and this is how marketing is ran. You don't have to run marketing on white lies, because they're white lies. It's pumpy behavior. UAE partnerships, when they're just investors, not partnerships, big pharma, Visa, UFC. This is all supposed to happen before the original launch of SaitaMask on November 13th, right? And so he's been saying these things that have been pumping the price, right? Pumpy dumpy. Alpha Investments, that YouTube channel, really pointed this out and opened my eyes. I mean, I kind of figured, but they said it in a way which really opened my eyes. So Russ needs to do a better job at that, and I hope he does going forward. But it was pretty much agree to disagree, because Russ is pretty much saying, well, that's marketing. And a Crypto Realist is like, no, it's not marketing. You're lying, or saying white lies, like, half truths in order to pump the price. And then we see an immediate dump, right? The people that all bought in because they thought we were getting listed on Binance at the 30s dumped, down to the teens now. So those guys are probably feeling pretty bad. There's a point where Ponzi Slayer, right, a friend of the channel, really hardcore in his beliefs, doesn't like any project that seems scammy. Pretty funny things about Russ and his wife going to prison. Now, I don't like the way that Sandstorm kind of publicly put him down like that, and those sorts of things. I think everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I don't think you have to highlight that comment, but I think that, you can't have an echo chamber. People are going to say what they say. Feelings get hurt, but that's the way he feels. I wouldn't have publicly did that to Ponzi Slayer just because I don't roll like that. I just think that was a little weird on Sandstorm's part, but that's my critique. And I mean, if that's a critique, that's not terrible, but I wouldn't have done that. I think everyone has a right to their own opinion. Like, Ponzi Slayer is in the good. He's in it to help the people. He's in it because he's seen this thing happen before, where people say these pie in the sky things, right? These nonsensical things that get the price moving on some project and end up scrapping, a couple years later or a couple months later. Guys, Saitama's not even a year old. You have to understand. So Ponzi Slayer, yes, he's a little vulgar in the way he comes off, and he's brutal, right? But I think that people should be able to have their own opinion, and he's looking out for the best interest of the holder. So I don't agree how that was handled, especially like, publicly taking the time to address that on the live stream instead of just like ignoring it and just, moving on. I wouldn't have done that to Ponzi Slayer. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. What did you think of the AMA? I thought it was pretty good for all parties. Like I said, there was no big revelations for me except the Lily Finance situation, but I'm interested to hear your opinion. Did you watch the AMA? If not, check out the video in the description down below, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.